During a business trip, I had too many drinks and ended up in the arms of a colleague who whispered, "No one has to know." I replied, "This was a mistake." He smiled, "Then why did you kiss me first?" The next day, my boss asked, "Did something happen between you two?" I knew my one-night stand was about to ruin everything. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I'd be this person. The kind of person who destroys everything they love for a night of stupidity. But here I am, staring at my boss across a conference table, feeling like my whole world is slipping through my fingers. "Did something happen between you and Nate?" His voice is calm, but his eyes tell me he already knows. Or at least, he thinks he knows. My mouth is dry. My heart is hammering in my chest. I force out a laugh, but it sounds wrong, shaky. "What? No. Why would you ask that?" Greg doesn't buy it. He leans forward, hands folded, sighing like he's already exhausted by this conversation. Because he's been talking. I feel my stomach drop so fast I think I might throw up right here, in the middle of this overpriced hotel conference room. I grip the edges of my chair like that might keep me grounded, like it might stop the sheer panic crawling up my spine. I fucked up. I really fucked up. And the worst part? I don't even have anyone to blame but myself. 2 days ago, everything was fine. I was at the airport, kissing my husband goodbye. He smiled against my lips, his hands warm on my waist. "Have fun, okay?" I nodded, smiling back even though I hate these work trips. 3 days away from home, stuck in a hotel, making small talk with clients. The only thing worse than sitting through endless corporate presentations is pretending I care about them. I work in marketing. It's not glamorous, but it pays well and I'm good at it. My team was heading to a big convention in Las Vegas, expensive hotel, fancy dinners, free drinks. The kind of thing that makes you forget, just for a little while, that real life is waiting for you back home. Nate was going too. I've known Nate for 5 years. He's the kind of guy people notice when he walks into a room. Confident. Easygoing. He's good at his job, always saying the right things, always making people laugh. And yeah, I've thought about him before. Not seriously. Not in a way that meant anything. Just in passing, in the way you think about someone when you know they're attractive, but you never act on it. Until this trip. Until one stupid night that I can't take back. The first night in Vegas, we all went out for drinks. Nothing wild, just a group of coworkers at a bar unwinding after a long day. I had a few cocktails, enough to feel warm, to feel lighter. The tension of the workday melted away, and I let myself relax. Somewhere between my second and third drink, Nate ended up next to me. I don't remember how it happened, but I remember the way his arm brushed against mine. I didn't move away. I should have. I should have shut it down when he leaned in, when his voice got lower, when his hand stayed on my knee a second too long. I should have gone back to my hotel room alone. But I didn't. The group started thinning out, people heading back to their rooms, but we stayed. Talking, laughing, drinking. The lights in the bar were dim, the music was just loud enough that we had to lean in to hear each other. And then, just like that, I was kissing him. I don't even know who moved first. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was him. Maybe we both knew exactly where this was going and let it happen anyway. His hands were on my waist, pulling me closer. I felt the warmth of his breath against my lips before he whispered, "No one has to know." For a second, just 1 second, I thought about what it would be like to let go completely. But then reality crashed down. This was a mistake. I pulled away so fast I nearly knocked over my drink. My heart was pounding, my face burning, and I could still feel the press of his lips on mine like a brand. Nate just smiled. "Then why did you kiss me first?" I couldn't answer that. I grabbed my purse and left. The next morning, I woke up with a pounding headache and a stomach full of regret. I showered, scrubbing my skin raw like that would somehow erase the night before. I told myself it didn't mean anything. It was just a drunken mistake. A lapse in judgment. No one knew. No one had to ever know. Except Nate. And apparently, now, my boss. When I walked into the conference room that morning, I was already on edge. I avoided looking at Nate, kept my head down, focused on my coffee. But I could feel him watching me. Then Greg pulled me aside. "Did something happen between you and Nate?" And just like that, everything came crashing down. I felt the blood drain from my face. My hands were ice cold, even though my entire body was burning. "What? No. Why would you ask that?" Greg exhaled through his nose, like he really didn't want to be having this conversation. "Because he's been bragging." I swear I stopped breathing. I heard the words, but they didn't make sense. Like my brain refused to process them. "Bragging?" My voice sounded thin, weak. Greg nodded. He was in the break room this morning, talking to some guys from another company. I overheard part of it. My stomach twisted. What did he say?" Greg hesitated, then shook his head. "Doesn't matter. Just, whatever happened, fix it before it gets worse." I walked out of that room in a daze. That night, I stood outside Nate's hotel room, my hands clenched into fists. I shouldn't have come here. I should have ignored it, let it blow over. But I had to know what he said. I knocked. Nate opened the door, shirtless, grinning like he knew I'd show up. Knew you'd come back. I pushed past him into the room. What the fuck is wrong with you? My voice shook, but I didn't care. You told people? He shrugged. Relax. I didn't name names. My vision went red. You son of a— oh, come on, Anna. He leaned against the dresser, arms crossed. You don't really regret it. You just don't want to get caught. The worst part? I didn't know if he was wrong. I hated myself for it. This can't happen again. My voice was barely above a whisper. It won't happen again. Nate tilted his head, like he was studying me. We'll see. I left before I could do something even stupider. That was a week ago. I haven't told my husband. I haven't looked Greg in the eye since that conversation. And Nate? He still smirks at me like he knows something I don't. I don't know how to fix this. I don't even know where to start. The problem with making a mistake that big is that you can't undo it. You can't just wake up and pretend it didn't happen. It follows you. It clings to you like the scent of smoke after a fire. It doesn't matter how many times you shower, how many times you tell yourself, it was a mistake. It was just one night. It meant nothing. Because deep down, you know the truth. It wasn't just the night in Vegas. The mistake didn't start there. It started months ago, years, maybe. It started with the way I laughed too hard at Nate's jokes. The way I found excuses to sit next to him at work events. The way I noticed when he got a haircut. The way I felt seen when he looked at me, like I wasn't just someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's reliable employee. The mistake started long before I ever kissed him. And now it was spiraling out of control. Back at the office, things were tense. I kept my head down, avoided eye contact, acted like everything was fine. But I could feel the shift. The stolen glances. The way conversations got quieter when I walked into the break room. I didn't know if I was imagining it or if people actually knew. Greg never brought it up again. But the way he looked at me, the way his tone changed when we talked, it was clear he hadn't forgotten. And Nate? Nate was having the time of his life. The smirks. The lingering looks. The way he'd brush past me in the hallway, just a little too close. And then, the messages started. At first, they were harmless. Inside jokes. A meme about bad corporate coffee. A casual, rough morning when he saw me dragging myself to my desk. I ignored them. Left them on read. But he didn't stop. Nate, you mad at me? I didn't answer. Nate, come on. Don't pretend like you didn't like it. I turned off my phone. A few nights later, Daniel and I were watching TV when my phone buzzed on the couch between us. He glanced at the screen before I could reach it. Nate? From work. His voice was light, casual. I froze. Yeah, I said quickly, grabbing my phone. Just work stuff. Daniel nodded, eyes back on the screen, but I felt the shift in the air. Attention. A question unspoken. I checked the message. Nate, you miss me? I deleted it. The next morning, I was on edge. I felt like I was being watched, like every person in that office knew something they shouldn't. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, for someone to say something. Then, at lunch, it happened. I was pouring coffee in the break room when I heard my name. Anna? No way. I stopped, my heart lurching into my throat. Two coworkers, Mia and Lucas, were whispering near the fridge. I heard something, but I didn't think she was that type, Mia said, her voice low but sharp. Nate's been acting like he won the lottery, Lucas muttered. If it's true, she's an idiot. Her husband's a good guy. I stood frozen, coffee burning in my hand. They hadn't seen me yet. I backed away before they could, my stomach twisting. I didn't breathe until I was locked in a bathroom stall, my hands shaking as I gripped my phone. I should have called Nate and told him to fix this. I should have confronted him, demanded to know what he said. But instead, I texted him. Me? What the fuck did you tell people? The reply came almost instantly. Nate, relax. It's just talk. Nobody knows for sure. Me, are you kidding me? People are gossiping. Nate, that's not my fault. Maybe if you didn't look so guilty all the time, people wouldn't suspect anything. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. Instead, I typed out the words I should have said a week ago. Me, this is over. Don't talk to me again. I expected him to fight me on it. To push, to tease, to act like this was some stupid game. But all he sent back was a single word. Nate, okay, that should have been the end of it. I should have felt relief. But I didn't. Because something about that okay felt wrong. Too easy. Too final. Like I just made a mistake I wouldn't be able to undo. The problem with a secret is that it never stays one for long. I wanted to believe I could move on. That I could just bury this mistake, act normal, pretend it never happened. But the thing about guilt is that it seeps into every part of your life. It changes the way you speak, the way you move, the way you look at the people you love. And Daniel? He noticed. Not all at once, but in small ways. The way I kept my phone close, even when I was just walking to the kitchen. The way I hesitated when he kissed me. The way I'd wake up at night, staring at the ceiling, my heart racing for no reason at all. And then, there was Nate. Because even after I told him it was over, he didn't really go away. A week after I cut him off, I found a note on my desk. No name, just my name scrawled in a handwriting I recognized immediately. You can pretend all you want, but I know you think about me. I crushed the paper in my fist, my whole body shaking. I wanted to scream. I wanted to march to his office and throw it in his face. But I didn't. Because that would mean giving him something. A reaction. A sign that he still had power over me. I shoved the note into my bag and told myself it was just Nate being a smug asshole. A parting shot before he moved on. I was wrong. Because later that day, I got a text. Not from Nate. From Daniel. Daniel, hey, weird question. Who's Nate? Everything inside me went cold. Me? Why? Daniel, just wondering. A guy messaged me from a fake account on Facebook. Said to ask you about him. Said you had a story I might want to hear. I swear my hands stopped working. Me? What? What did it say? Daniel, it's deleted now. I barely saw it before it disappeared. But it was weird. You good? I sat there, my heart hammering so hard it felt like it was bruising my ribs. This was Nate. I knew it was him. I knew he was trying to mess with me. Trying to control me. And worst of all, he had a way to do it. I called him that night. I hadn't spoken to him since I told him to leave me alone, and part of me hoped he'd just ignore the call. But he didn't. Knew you'd call, he said, his voice smug as ever. What the hell is wrong with you? I hissed. You messaged my husband? Nate laughed like it was all some inside joke. I just thought he should ask you some questions. That's fair, right? You're insane. I don't think I am. His voice darkened. I think you're just mad because you know you're going to have to lie to him. My throat closed up. Because he was right. I had already lied. I had been lying. And now, the truth wasn't even in my hands anymore. Nate controlled it. What do you want? I whispered. Nothing, he said. All fake innocence. Just wanted to remind you that I exist. I hung up before I said something I'd regret. For the next 2 weeks, I lived on the edge of a knife. Daniel didn't bring it up again. But the seed had been planted. I could feel it growing. He started watching me more closely. Asking about work more often. Holding me just a little too tightly at night, like he was trying to feel if something was wrong. I tried. I really, really tried to be normal. But then, one night, he checked my phone. I woke up at 3 a.m. to find him sitting at the edge of the bed, my phone in his hands, his face blank. Who the fuck is Nate? I didn't answer. Because what do you say to the person you love when they've just found out you betrayed them? His hands were shaking. Tell me the truth, Anna. I sat up, my stomach churning. Nothing happened. His eyes met mine, and for the first time in 12 years, I saw something break in them. That's a lie. And just like that, everything unraveled. I don't remember most of the fight. Just flashes. His voice, raw with something between rage and heartbreak. Me, sobbing, trying to explain the unexplainable. Him asking over and over, was it just one night? Or was it more? And the worst part? The part that hurt the most? I hesitated. Just for a second. Just long enough for the truth to be clear. Because even though it had only been one night, it hadn't been nothing. It had been building for months. Maybe years. Daniel saw it. And that was the moment I knew I had lost him. We're separated now. I moved into a small apartment a few miles away. We told the kids it was temporary. That we were figuring things out. But I don't think that's true. Because when Daniel looks at me now, I don't see love. I see a stranger. And Nate? He got what he wanted. He got to break something I thought was unbreakable. But the worst part? The part that keeps me up at night? Is knowing that I was the one who handed him the hammer.